everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Shay, and today's video is going to be another sew and tell video. I'm going to share with you guys what I have been sewing and knitting in the last 2 months or so since the beginning of September. So it's the end of October right now, so it's pretty much a 2-month period, and this is including my some of my finished garments as well as a couple of my garments that didn't come out quite the way I wanted to, that were unfinished. So I wanted to share those with you guys as well. And if you guys are already subscribed, you might have noticed that I didn't post a video last week. I had some birthday party stuff to do. My boyfriend and a couple of his friends all turned 30 at the same time. And so we did a party for them, and I needed to go ahead and tend to that. So I didn't end up with a video last week, but I wanted to start the beginning of November with this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a couple of small things that I knitted. Starting with these little knitted cuffs. These are just little tiny hand warmers. I do a lot of knitting, obviously, and stuff like that, stuff with my hands. So I wanted to make a couple of different kinds of hand warmers. These ones really should be longer in order to keep my hands more warm than they do. This was kind of a prototype, really simple. It didn't take very much yarn at all. And I really like the color. I actually have a sweater that I made in this color as well, which you'll see in a few minutes. But that's the first thing I did. And then the second pair were this pair, and these ones are longer. And so it's kind of like weird with this sweater, but they are longer. And these ones were a really pretty pink color. I didn't have enough of this yarn to make really anything with, so I thought that arm warmers or cuffs would be a really good option for that. And it would use up some of the yarn that I have. And this is wool. The other one is synthetic. Next, I actually made a necklace. I had grabbed this at the same time as I grabbed the yarn from my local Joann's. I just thought it was a really pretty little pendant. It's a bee, but it has like jewels on it. So I just got the chain separately and then attached it. My mom is actually a jeweler and makes beautiful jewelry. I will link her website down below in the description for you guys if you want to check that out. Next is going to be a clothing piece. This didn't come out quite the way I wanted it to. First of all, I didn't really like the fabric for this. I used this fabric. I had bought this fabric when I decided I was going to start sewing. It's actually really pretty. It has these beautiful like Art Deco style cranes on it, and I really love the color scheme. However, it just wasn't doing it for me with this style. This top actually is really cute. It just kind of fits a little bit weird on me because I am petite. My shoulder length from here to here is kind of small. So it is a like pull over option. It does have the elastic in the center here. This was deceptively hard to figure out how to do. I'm not sure why. But I think that I would like to try again, except maybe put some buttons down the front or something to have an open and close that's a little bit different so that I could make it slightly more fitted and then have it actually fit me. And I did change up the pattern a little bit as well. It called for elastics on the cuffs, but I did gather instead and then did regular cuffs because I think that that looks better personally. But that was my first one. Then I have a couple of sweaters that I knitted. This, if you watched my last sew and tell, I had basically this exact sweater. However, after rewatching that and fitting and trying on the actual sweater again, I decided I really didn't like how it was fitting. It was kind of like weird and bulky up in here, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized that I wasn't decreasing the right number to get a more cap sleeve style. It was pretty like straight across, which works if you're doing a drop shoulder, but it wasn't working for this style. So I ended up undoing it and then redoing it. This one came out much better. Some of these things I do have photos of. I'm gonna go ahead and insert photos for you guys so that you can see what they look like on. And it came out much better. The arms also need to be a little bit longer. For some reason, when I made it the first time, well, I know the reason. When I made it the first time, I was only working with 1 pound of yarn, and I really, really wanted to only use 1 pound of the yarn to make a whole sweater. So I was trying really hard to be economical with the yarn. Apparently, I didn't think I needed a full sleeve, but I ended up having enough to do a full sleeve, and I still have some extras, so that was kind of silly of me. But this other sweater is the exact same pattern, just in a different colorway. This one actually came out better. It has some like fuzz on it. This one actually came out better. I actually really like how this one came out. It's slightly more fitted. I think the yarn itself, even though it's the same yarn, just a different color, the yarn itself is softer and slightly smaller. Like the actual strand is slightly smaller, so it's not as thick, which I liked better for this style. And this one just came out really, really good. I love this sort of like mulberry red color. Next is a skirt. This is just a simple circle skirt. So I originally started out, I wanted to make a dress, right? So I had this really pretty linen tablecloth that I really like the color of, and I was really excited to make a dress. However, I got the dress pretty much together and realized that it did not fit right. I was not happy with how it was coming out. The top pattern that I had used just wasn't working out. The like ratio of my waist to the actual bottom of the shirt wasn't coming out right, and then the zipper was too tight when I put it all together. There was a whole big thing. So I ended up deciding, you know what? I'm just gonna make the skirt and leave it at that. So I did a regular circle skirt. This is just a half circle, and it is partially lined to about here. If I was to do it again, I would line it longer because the liner kind of sits weird underneath the skirt. And it just has a basic zipper up the back. I hand did the zipper, and this is a pretty simple pattern. Eventually I will get to show you guys how I do these circle skirts. It's pretty easy. I kind of go over it a little bit in the video. I'm going to link it above, that I made a plaid dress out of. And that kind of shows you a little bit how I did it, but it's pretty easy. Anyway, after actually photographing this skirt, I actually decided I really don't like this style on me personally. I am only 5'1" and I am a pear shape, so this really kind of adds more volume to the bottom of my body than I really want to. So I think that I'm gonna, from here on out, be making more of a gathered style skirt when I make skirts. So, or even a pleated style skirt. I wanna make a Scottish inspired tartan skirt, so like sort of like a kilt style. They were really popular in the 1960s and 1950s, and I really like that style. I actually have one. It has like the buckles on the side here, and it's basically just like one long strip of fabric. It has a button over here and then another button, and then it has like little buckles. I really like that. I have decided I think I like more of a 60s 70s style, or maybe a 30s 40s sort of combination of the 30s and 40s and the 60s and 70s, which surprisingly is easy to do because the 60s and 70s stole a lot of stuff from the 1930s and 40s. So I think that I can make that work for my vintage style. And also inspired by a couple of modern companies like Cezanne and Rouge. They are really, really pretty. They're heirloom quality pieces. They have really beautiful knits and stuff like that. So I would like to maybe try to make some stuff that's inspired by that at some point in the near future. But for now, this is what I've made so far. Next is the, this is one of my more recent videos. This is actually a pair of overalls that I made, and I will link the video up above for you guys, and I will share a photo. This came out really, really great. However, there was a lot of work to be done. The original pattern did not look like this, not even a little bit. I basically traced out the like legs, and then I went straight up rogue from there on out. The zipper is in a different place. The whole back portion was not there in the original pattern. I added back pockets. I did all kinds of stuff. It was too big, so I added these seams down the front and down the back. So if you want to see in more detail how I did this, I would definitely recommend watching that video, because I go into detail and show you guys the step-by-step of how I went about this. And now I'm going to show you guys a couple of fails. So I want to be transparent with this. I make a lot of stuff that doesn't make it into videos and doesn't make it into my wardrobe because it doesn't come out good. And it basically means that I should be doing more mock-ups. So this is a really good example here. This is a short-sleeved puff sleeve top. It's really, really cute. It probably could be tweaked to just be right, and then I could put some buttons down the front. It's supposed to have buttons down the front and then just be a front closing top. I really love this plaid. I already made a dress out of it, like I mentioned before, and I had enough to make a top, but it just doesn't fit right. When you put it on, it kind of gaps over my neckline. I'm not sure how to go about fixing that. If you know in the comments, please let me know, because I would love to know. but I have to fiddle around with it and try to get it to fit better and work that out. Okay, so lastly is going to be a piece that actually was supposed to be a video for you guys. I was trying to get it done last week so that I had something to post for you and I didn't miss a week. However, between the birthday stuff and this just not cooperating, it ended up being this. So this is a 1940s reproduction jumpsuit pattern, and this is actually really cute, and Rachel Maxey actually just did this pattern, and it inspired me because I already had the pattern and hadn't used it to try to make my own. However, it has not come out right. So it was very, very weirdly fitting over my bust. I should have made the size up probably. It ended up being really small and weird, but the bottoms actually fit really well. I added some nice back pockets and everything. I did some like nice seam work because I was really excited about it, and then it just didn't work out. So when I put it on, it was 100 miles too long. It literally is tall enough for my boyfriend, who is 6'2", and it just wasn't doing it. The zipper wasn't going in the way that I wanted to, and then there wasn't even going to be enough room for me to close it once I put the zipper in because I made it too small. The whole thing was a mess. However, it was pretty easy to make. If I'm being honest, it just is ill-fitting for me in its current condition. So I think that I'm going to take the top part off and either just keep it as a pair of high-waisted pants, or I may try again with the top half and see if I can do something different to make it fit better, because I really was excited to wear it and I'm a little bummed out that it didn't end up working out for me. So that was it for the finished or mostly finished garments that I have made. I also made a tiered skirt, which I am doing as a mock-up at this point, and I am hopefully going to be sharing that in a video coming up, as well as a couple of videos for tops. I am pretty lacking in my tops department in my closet, and I also have a pattern for a pair of flare jeans, and I do have some denim. So I'm like looking up at my denim. It's over there on the shelf. So if you're interested in that stuff or any of the other projects that I might do, I highly recommend subscribing, and don't forget to like the video. It helps me out a whole bunch, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!